Solutions are being created for staff members at the federal medical facility in Lexington that's been hit so hard by COVID-19. But what about ways to keep the inmates safe? Loved ones of those inside say they are not optimistic. As people struggle to find meat, local butchers are helping meet that demand.
Gloomy conditions return tomorrow, but they don't look to stick around too long. I'll have your forecast right now at 4:30.
More than 150 cases of COVID-19 have been found at the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, including 10 new ones reported just today. One inmate has died. It is causing concern for people with loved ones there. Krista Frost talked with someone whose fiance is in the center.
I knew that this was going to get really bad.
This was the thought in the minds of people with loved ones in prisons across the U.S.
Yeah, I was actually more worried about him than I was about myself because I'm able to self-isolate in the home and control who comes over and who I see and who I have contact with, whereas he is sitting in a petri dish.
Dallas LeBlanc's significant other is here at the Federal Medical Facility in Lexington. As of early Tuesday, more than 140 people here have contracted COVID-19.
These people are inmates at a medical facility. It's mental and physical health. They're some of the most vulnerable populations because they already have underlying health conditions. So that, coupled with the close quarters, can really be something to watch for.
LeBlanc's loved one is one of the vulnerable, dealing with sleep apnea among other medical issues. He tells her inmates there are trying their best to make do.
There's no PPE, there's no soap. Guards are walking around in trash bags because they don't have the PPE to keep themselves safe. The inmates have been ripping the soap dispensers off the wall, trying to get the last little bit that's in there.
And now she's trying to find a way to help to keep him alive.
He was not sentenced to a death sentence, but if he gets this, it very well could turn into that.
In Lexington, Krista Frost, WYMT Mountain News.
The Lexington-Fayette County Health Department does not have jurisdiction over the Federal Medical Center. They are in the early talks with the center to have all staff tested. We have a consumer alert to pass along to you this afternoon. A Kentucky woman says she nearly fell for a scam while helping her son file for unemployment benefits. Robbie Taylor says she found a toll-free number on Kentucky.gov to get help, but she says the person who answered told her she won a gift card and just needed to give her credit card information. The Better Business Bureau says that same number has appeared on 11 other websites, including USA.gov and the EPA's website. The Kentucky Blood Center is calling on anyone who can give to help their cause right now. With elective surgery starting back up, they are in desperate need of donations. The centers are still open weekdays from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. You can make an appointment by calling 800-775-2522 or by going online to kybloodcenter.org. Organizers are moving forward with plans to hold the Kentucky State Fair in Louisville. Our CBS affiliate there reports the board is making some safety changes. The fair will feature half as many vendors. Concert attendees will have to social distance. Instead of standing in line to get a ticket, the board will mail them out. The fair is currently scheduled for August 20th through the 30th. The Senate Majority Leader says former President Barack Obama should have kept his mouth shut about the COVID-19 response. Senator Mitch McConnell was speaking with the Trump campaign's Lara Trump Monday. They were discussing a private call the former president had with people who worked in his administration last week. 3 sources confirmed that during that call, Obama said President Trump's coronavirus response was, quote, an absolute chaotic disaster.
I think President Obama should have kept his mouth shut. We know he doesn't like much this administration is doing. That's understandable. But I think it's a little bit classless, frankly, to critique an administration that comes after you. You had your shot. You were there for 8 years. I think the tradition that the Bushes set up of not critiquing the president who comes after you is a good tradition.
Former President Obama is, of course, throwing his support behind his former Vice President, Joe Biden, and his run for the Oval Office. The purpose of the Friday call was to convince his former staff members to support Biden's campaign. During the coronavirus pandemic, you have probably been to a store and seen a shortage of meat, or a drive-through where some meat options may have been taken off the menu. WYMT's Madison Pergram has more on how a local butcher shop is continuing to operate.
Here at C&P Butcher Shop in London, you can easily drive by and see people lined up waiting to get their meat. With the meat shortage and high prices, people are relying on the local shop to provide meat for their families. The shop has implemented many new safety guidelines, including only curbside pickup and painted lines to help customers keep a safe distance. Tony Thorpe, the owner, says he has never seen anything like this before.
It's going to be tough, and it's tough right now, and people are kind of in sticker shock this morning because you have the highest prices ever in history in the meat market today, and it's going to get worse in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Now, Tony says his goal is to continue to feed the masses, but supply and demand over time could have an impact on that. For now, in London, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
We'll have more on how the butcher shop is continuing to keep meat on its shelves and keep people fed later tonight. All but 4 U.S. states have now eased coronavirus restrictions, even as the U.S. death toll from the virus tops 81,000. 2 of the hardest hit states are getting ready to start reopening. Louisiana will lift its stay-at-home order on Friday. New York plans to reopen some non-essential businesses in upstate New York Friday. But the governor says New York City and Long Island, the epicenter of the pandemic, are not ready to reopen. President Trump is meeting with a group of Republican senators to discuss the economy as House Democrats announce plans for another big stimulus bill. Meanwhile, several of the nation's top health experts testified before a Senate panel. Dr. Anthony Fauci warned against reopening the country too soon. Officials say they are working to help states get the capabilities for more testing and contact tracing, and the CDC director says more guidelines for reopening states will be published soon.
As we work through the guidances, a number of them go for interagency review and interagency input to make sure that these guidances are more broadly applicable for different parts of our society.
Dr. Fauci said a vaccine could be ready by late fall or early winter. But the FDA Commissioner, Dr. Stephen Hahn, could not guarantee an eventual vaccine would be available at no charge for all citizens. Central Bank Center is being forced to furlough its employees because of the pandemic. With events canceling left and right at Rupp Arena, little to no money is coming in. In response, the Lexington Herald-Leader reports the Central Bank Center furloughed more than 100 full and part-time staff last month. 14 remaining staff members took pay cuts. As far as the expansion goes, officials say it is still happening.
We saw that sunshine return once again today. It's been a little bit on the cooler side, but slightly warmer than we have been at least the past few days. We'll get and take you up, though, to that Pikeville camera first, where you can see that mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. US 119, US 23. A really nice and gorgeous day. We've just kind of seen some of those clouds creeping back in. Looking on top of Buffalo Mountain here in Perry County, you're seeing just that absolutely gorgeous weather right now, and we are going to continue to see that gorgeous weather as we head a little bit into tonight. But tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a different story. So for tomorrow, we'll get back to the upper 50s to lower 60s. We will see those scattered showers return tomorrow. But as for tonight, we are remaining a little bit on that drier side. We'll finally see a warm up, though, as we head a little bit later into the week, and especially heading into the weekend. I'll have that weekend forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. We are 1 month removed from that windstorm that left tens of thousands of people without power, some for more than a week. While cleanup is mostly finished, some areas are still waiting to put that chapter behind them. WYMT's Will Puckett has more from Fish Trap Lake.
1 month ago tonight, owner Teresa Thomas was sitting right here as she felt near 90-mile-per-hour winds come down the hillside and damage her entire marina. The mess left behind from those Easter Sunday storms is still apparent. Just 2 weeks ago, insurance adjusters came out to look at the mangled mess that's left of the dock. With pieces strewn apart, held together by only a rope, Thomas says she hoped to be a little further along than where they're at right now.
As far as the construction part of it, or where I thought we would be, I thought we would be a little bit farther ahead than what we are now. Especially, I thought that we'd already started construction, you know what I mean? But that, I guess that was just, you know, hopes.
Now Thomas hopes to have construction starting soon and have it all wrapped up by August. She says losing pretty much the entire boating season is difficult. In Pike County, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Thomas says they are a week or so away from having a portable bait shop at the marina for this summer, hoping to salvage the time they'll lose any way they can. Coming up on Mountain News at 4:30, if you have not filed your taxes yet, you still have time, but a financial expert gives us some reasons you might want to get on it.
And we do have a warm up on the way, but not before we deal with some gloomy weather heading into tomorrow. I'll have a look at that forecast coming up.
When you see news